And I know it's not a unique experience because like I've seen people talk about it online. Hey everyone, it's Iris. Today I'm talking about my experience on the pill. Hurrah! I thought that this would be important for me to share because I repeatedly had a pretty bad experience on the pill, and I feel like it's something that people don't talk about a lot, and that like a lot of people who choose to go on the pill specifically just kind of deal with the negative consequences. And I want to talk about some of those just so that you're aware, if you're considering starting on the pill, of like the possibilities of what could happen. Let's get started. Let's talk about it. I'm gonna start with some background information and then talk about how it affected me and kind of what I learned from all of this. So in January 2019, I got a prescription for the pill. I got a 3-month round. So basically you take it for 3 months, you have a period, take it for another 3 months. And at the time that I got it, I was kind of depressed. So I decided not to take it until I knew that I was kind of out of that state of depression I had been in, because I didn't want to risk those combining and like me not knowing whether it was the pill or whether it was just me. So I decided to like not take it for a long time, and I wasn't really sexually active, so it didn't really matter to me. I started on the pill because I wanted to have sort of like peace of mind. If I was having sex, you know, like if something happened to a condom, I wouldn't be pregnant, you know? I learned that it could make you depressed from my sister because she told me that. She had been on the pill for a while. And also just like I heard it from people online and stuff. It became apparent that like not actually a lot of people know that one of the effects of the pill is that it can make you depressed. So I actually started taking my prescription in April of 2019, and then I took it through mid-June. That was kind of like the end of my freshman year of college, then into the summer a little bit. I realized a little bit into the summer that yeah, it was making me depressed, or I was depressed at that point, and I wasn't sure if it was the pill or something else. So I decided to stop taking the pill and see how it would affect my mood. And I would say that it wasn't really a drastic effect on mood. I think that I was still kind of like down in the dump and sort of like having no motivation and stuff like that. So like going off the pill didn't immediately like solve that or anything, but I think that it was a good choice for me to make at that time. So during summer I was just like off the pill for most of it, and then near the end of the summer I had sex with someone and the condom came off. So I was like, well, I don't want to be taking Plan B every time this happens, because 1, Plan B is super expensive, and 2, I don't want to be taking Plan B. So I went into my doctor again, same doctor, and I said, okay, last pill made me depressed, let's do something else. And she was like, okay, we can try another pill, or we can do the patch or the ring. And I was like, okay, I want to try the pill one more time, give it a shot. So this time I got one with like a slightly lower dosage of whatever hormone, I don't know the science, in month rounds. So I would take it for 3 weeks, have a period, take it for 3 more weeks, have a period. And I was on that prescription, this prescription, for 3 months basically. It was from the end of August to mid-January that I was taking that. And then halfway through January I decided to stop. I'm going to be talking mainly about my experience the second time I took it rather than the first, because the first one is sort of like I don't really remember it that well. The second time I took it is more clearly in my memory because it was more recent. My camera's dying, so I'm talking really fast. But basically what I would experience was like extremely low lows, and then like the highs were like crazy. So really just like ups and downs in terms of my emotions and just like energy. And then I also experienced a lot of paranoia related to my like social relationship, where like I felt like people didn't want to be my friends, or I felt like if someone didn't respond to a text, it was the end of the world. And I was like really depending on my social relationships to make me feel better, and a lot of my social relationships weren't really fulfilling or supportive. I think one of the things that saved me throughout last semester, and like even now, is living in a house with a bunch of people who I really love, and like a community that like is really embracing. I live in like the LGBTQ housing on campus. It's just like great. I've made some like really close friends. Like my friends this semester, this year, are like basically entirely different from before. The feeling of emotions being sort of plateau and then like high and low, that happened the first time I took the pill too. And same with the paranoia in relationships. I've been like seeing this dude and I was freaking out about it, and one of my friends ghosted me and I was like, it's the end of the world, oh my god, like everyone hates me. When in reality it was like, that's just kind of what happens in college. Everyone's busy, everyone has their own lives, and like I knew that, but it was hard for me to like put that into practice. And also like I was being treated in kind of a shitty way. I said it. So over this past semester, one of the things I noticed besides like the highs and the lows and the social paranoia was just like feeling like I was in such a haze. Like I could not remember what was happening. I wasn't really present in anything. Over break, I was like freaking out about this because like it's scary to like not really remember what went down for a 3-month period. And like I could like choose some events and stuff, but overall like I felt like I didn't know what I had done. I didn't really remember anything very well. There was this day over break where I literally like went through the camera roll on my phone and like wrote down for each week what happened because I like was desperate to remember what I was doing and to like remember like the small events and like the good things that happened because I could only think of like the big negatives. So I like needed to go back and look at pictures to like see a timeline of my semester. I felt like really out of control in my own mind, and I think that a lot of that was the fact that I was on the pill. So mid-January I decided to stop taking it because I was like, I'm out of control, I feel terrible, in a constant state of anxiety. I'm taking a drug that is like messing me up right now. I kid you not, the next day I felt so much better. The day after I stopped taking it, I felt not depressed anymore. And I'm sure part of it was like hanging over my head of thinking about this a lot and thinking about like, do I keep taking it or not? And I'm sure like making that decision was one of the things that helped me like lift myself out of it. Immediately I felt so much better to not be taking it. And my family noticed and my friends noticed that I was like a lot more positive and happy and energetic. And like honestly for me that was really life-changing because I just spent 3 months in sort of like purgatory. Like I don't really know what's going on and I can't really remember anything and I'm not really present at all to like, oh, I'm having a good time and the negatives in my life don't feel so bad. And like if someone doesn't respond to a text, I'm fine with it. Like it's like I'm not overthinking like I was for 3 months. And coming back, especially this semester, I felt much better on campus than I did last semester. Part of that is I have a smaller course load. I've kind of returned to like the social self that I knew last year that disappeared last semester. Felt so much pressure and I like barely talked to people I didn't know. And I was freaking out about it because one of the things I loved about myself at college was the fact that I was a lot more outgoing than I was at home. And I felt like I was trapped in my like previous mindset of like I'm terrified to talk to people. For transparency's sake, accompanied with me stopping the pill, I've also been like working out a lot more, which is probably one of the reasons that my anxiety levels have gone down, because working out is something that just helps me not go crazy. But basically the pill made me feel like I wasn't in control of myself and like I couldn't make things better for myself because it was this like outside factor that was affecting me, and I felt like, well, what can I do? And I know it's not a unique experience because like I've seen people talk about it online. I've commented on someone's video like, yeah, the pill made me like super depressed, and it's really hard to make the choice of like being safe during sex and being like really like peace of mind, like, okay, I'm protected from pregnancy. And it seems to me like some people go through like 4 different types of the pill before they find one that doesn't affect them in that way. And some people are fine with it or fine on it for like a month and a half, and then it starts really kicking in and like making people depressed. So it's sometimes hard to know if it will do that to you. And like the positives are really good, like got peace of mind, you can stop taking it whenever you want. It's not like the implant or an IUD where you have to like get it removed. It was great to be able to have sex, and like yes, I'm sexually active because I choose to be, it's my choice. I was not worried about getting pregnant because that's not something I need right now. I've got enough responsibility. I could not handle a child. Over winter break, I went in to talk to my doctor again, and she was like, okay, let's try something else. So I now have a prescription for the ring, which I actually haven't used yet. When I was taking the pill, both times I took it, I was sort of apprehensive to starting it because I was like, is this gonna make me depressed? So I'm feeling that way about the ring too, even though the ring is supposed to be better because it's more localized in terms of the hormone release. I'm looking forward to trying something different, but also I'm still a little bit freaked out that it's gonna affect me in a bad way. Maybe I'll make a video about it once I've been on it and have some experience on it, but for now we're just talking about the pill today. That was kind of my experience on it. It made me foggy, hazy, miserable, depressed, woo, and it did that both times I took it, so it's not an isolated case. Know that there are always options for birth control. I also want to say use condoms, especially if you don't have a regular partner, because people will be having STDs. It's just the truth. I hope that this video was helpful in some way or insightful, or that maybe you're realizing, oh, someone else had the same experience, I'm not alone. Or maybe you're doing research of like, maybe should I start this? Should I try something else? And my advice for you is to try something else. Also, there are ways you can get birth control online, which is pretty awesome. You can get a prescription online, literally, so look into that if you're curious about it. I just got a message from Jace. We love to see. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop talking now. I think that was enough. Leave a comment down below if you had a similar experience, or if you want to share anything, ask questions. I'm happy to answer your question. Yeah, don't leave a comment if you're gonna judge me for having premarital sex, because I'm not a Christian. But abstinence is valid. Do what you want with your body. That's all I'm gonna say. I hope that I can be sort of a touchstone for you, because I want everyone to be safe and protected. And yeah. Okay, bye.